you've tried these. Talk to us about the glasses.
Yeah, I had 2 hours with the Meta team and with Orion yesterday. And what I would say, purely from a personal standpoint, as a technology journalist, that it was the most profound experience of a new technology that I've had in my career so far. I say that for 2 reasons. One, I've demoed a lot of different types of technology, most analogous being VR, AI, or mixed reality headsets. In fact, some of Meta's mixed reality headsets that I tried didn't work that well. But the performance of Orion, at least in my experience, was brilliant. You know, it is. I'm a glasses wearer. For those of you listening and not watching on TV, the experience is simple. It feels like you're wearing a pair of glasses. You see the natural world around you, but video, images, and graphics are projected as holograms within the confines of the lenses in your glasses. And in many ways, it is as simple as that.
All right, so you sound pretty impressed. You look pretty good in the glasses too, I might just add.
Yeah.
Having said that...
Thank you.
You're very welcome. So having said that, how would you use it? Like, tell me about, or all of us, how might we use them?
Yeah, so the most key point on the technology side is that the lenses are not made of glass, they're made of silicon carbide. The reason that I state the specifics is that you can see normally. So if you're not engaged with the software or the projections or holograms, they're just glasses. You're not encumbered in your vision. But say, Kara, you were gonna like video call me. Mm-hmm. You would be able to have the video call with me. I could see you as if you and I were conducting the conversation via Zoom on a desktop, or via a laptop, or via an iPhone. That is the quality that we're talking about. Now, you would not be able to see me in certain instances, but I would still have at the same time my normal vision through my own human eyesight of the world around me, ability to drop in and out of a virtual world while still being here present in this one. God, I never thought I'd say that on television, but I'm being sincere.
Wait, I'm sorry, we need to cue the music. Ooh, like the creepy music. Like it's a little, so you're saying like I could be on the subway and I would be wearing them, potentially, assuming I have connectivity.
Correct.
And I could be having a conversation, seeing someone, but also making sure I don't fall into people or whatever,
yeah.
Right?
Yeah, so one observation that I made at the time when I was with the Meta team is that there's an element of it being discreet and privacy. So imagine you're in a crowded environment and you get a text message from somebody that is sensitive. If you're using a smartphone, think about the people leaning over your shoulder who can see it. In the Orion case study, the message appears on your screen, the lenses, the silicon carbide lenses, using the 2 projectors and micro LED tech. No one can see it but you, so that's one thing. The other example, just to walk through it, is I had Orion on my face. I looked at a table of ingredients and groceries, and I said to Meta AI, show me or give me a recipe using the ingredients on the table. It brought up a list of instructions on how to make this smoothie, but also tagged the specific ingredients. So each physical object, a pineapple, whatever it might be, was tagged with the word pineapple, step 1, step 2, step 3. These sound simple, but it worked. And I can hear Stephen, a little bit of a giggle under the breath. So why don't we talk about the share reaction? Because if one person or section of our audience is taking it seriously, it's the market.
Yeah.
I find that so interesting.
Yeah, I mean, look, this is an area that Meta's put $50 billion into wearable devices. Is this the payoff? Is this what they've been building up to?
Exactly. It's a perfect question, because when I moved to California in 2018, Meta, then known as Facebook, was a social media company. I was the only journalist standing here on Hackaway the day they lifted off the tarp and it had changed the logo to Meta. And then it was a metaverse company. Then investors punished Meta for its extreme CapEx commitment to AI and its CapEx commitment to reality labs. Now they're rewarding them for it. And I think it's still an open-ended question. They've put a lot into Ray-Bans, right? The product where you have normal eyeglasses with Meta AI integrated. The AR product, Orion, is very different. Does that mean that that's the future and we sort of move away from the virtual or mixed reality, which they also unveiled today? They have a new generation of more affordable Quest headsets. What happens to those social media platforms? One case study I used with Orion is Instagram. I pulled up my Instagram Reels feed in the Orion setting, and I used my thumb we can get into this if we have time, but basically you control actions by physical movement with your hand. So it's like flipping a coin, and using that motion. There are people all around the world listening to it, mimicking this, flipping a coin. But that's how you control the feed. Is that where we're going? I think that Meta still has many different pathways forward, and understanding which it is an interesting debate.
Couple things I want to tick off. What's the cost of it? Is it more a consumer item, or is it a consumer and commercial usage item? And then who else? Like, who do they have to be looking at over their shoulder?
It has no cost because it will not be sold. Right now, it is an internally only product. With what they're doing is dog fooding. That's Meta or tech speak for employees only using the technology and stress testing it. And I don't have a price for it, but everything inside is proprietary. 10 or so proprietary in-house developed chips. It's bleeding expensive. And what they need to do from here is iterate and engineer towards a future product or version of Orion that costs about the same as a high-end PC laptop. So I don't know, let's say $1,000 to $1,500 in the future, but I don't think we have any sense of when. It could be years, it could be many factors greater than years, but at least we will get the chance to ask somebody who might know later on today.
Yeah, indeed, you're going to be speaking to the CTO of Meta, and we'll be bringing that to you on the program later too. I'm curious, Ed, the idea of, the silicon carbide, in terms of supply chain, obviously you're talking about it being quite far away before this is something that people are going to be able to get their hands on, but are you already thinking about the supply chain for this?
I'm always thinking about the supply chain. It's so cool to have you in New York. And this is the kind of question that I love. The technology is important, right? Like every time we have news like this, we ask, what does the sell side think? What is the investor's reaction? You forget that technology companies do tech. Silicon carbide is a breakthrough in materials because it bends light at extreme angles. It means that you can see the natural world around you with your own eyes and have the holographic image without the sort of like rainbowy effect, the sort of light specks that so many have. There is a supply chain for silicon carbide because it's a commonly used material in EV for power conversion and also battery management systems, an area that I've covered for the last 5 or so years. And so I was surprised that this is something Meta did without academia. They did it themselves. And now I wonder how many other tech companies are paying attention to that material as a solution for their own ambitions in the field of augmented reality.
Anything else of note that we got from Zuckerberg in his comments this morning, or earlier today, I should say?
I think that Zuckerberg positioned Meta, I think it was earlier this year, though I lose sense of space and time, as wanting to be the world's leading AI company or the world's most important AI company. What's curious is that they're making a lot of progress on the hardware side while quietly continuing to go about their business on the software side. You have an updated version of Meta AI using an updated version of Llama, model 3.2. They continue to talk about the commitment to open source. Investors will have one question, which is, hold on, your bread and butter business is still advertising around the social platforms. Is there any evidence you have that all this AI work translates to that? And actually the answer is probably yes. A lot of the advertisers who engage with Facebook platforms are using the technology in a way that adds value to the ads for both parties. And that means making more money and top line growth. That's something that we'll ask again when earnings roll around in the coming months.
What's the key question that you want to get out of Andrew Bosworth when you speak to him later, Meta's Chief Technology Officer?
Well, Andrew Bosworth's team are standing behind the camera, and it's Bloomberg policy not to of interview. So if I tell you, they'll all know. But I think just the basics. When will this be in the real world? It's all well and good you saying we've had a breakthrough, we've been working on this for years, and we want consumers to have it too when it's ready. But if it's ready in 10 years' time, phone me then, because there's a lot that's going to happen in that period between now and then.
But you were blown away. I want to go back to how we kicked this off, that you said the most profound experience of new technology in my career. We have seen a lot of pretty cool things, certainly over the last 10 years or so, but you're blown away.
Yeah, because it's simple. I'm a glasses wearer, and that's how it works. You put the glasses on, there is a wristband and an accompanying puck. It's like a little thing you can put in your pocket. And it takes a while to learn, right? You use your eyes as like the mouse of a computer to select what you want. You use a pinch of your fingers as like a left click.
Yeah.
A pinch of the middle finger with the thumb to go to the home screen. You leave the little T-Rex arm awkwardly out because you're not used to it, but with time it became natural. And I thought that was fascinating.
And you didn't, and your eyes felt fine after you took them off?
Yeah, I mean, I wear glasses most days, you know that, Carol,
Yeah.
but I put contact lenses in for this because
okay.
they were sort of not prescription. But yeah, I felt good.